Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the Purvis Blades Progeny V2. No, this is not a rerun. This is not a repeat. Yes, I did review another Purvis Blades Progeny just a couple weeks ago. That was this one, the MR. The MR stands for more reasonable. This is the less expensive version. These are $130 some with 154 cm and G10 handles. The V2 is slightly larger. You'll see I'm going to do a complete side-by-side of these here in a little bit. But M390 blade carbon fiber handles. In this particular one, there are lots of different options. These are $260. There are lots of different blade finish options, several different handle options. So go check them out. It's apurvisblades.com, but I'm going to link down below to them so you can just click that if you want to and go check them out. And yeah, that's part of the reason why I got this. I liked the MR so much that I said at the end of the review, I liked it so much I was considering getting the more expensive one. And Purvis actually saw it and reached out to me, and I got one. So now I also have this one. So I have two progenies. I guess I also have two children. I guess does that mean we have four progenies? But two are knives. I don't know. We could go down a philosophical rabbit hole for that for a long time. But no, this is a very cool knife. I liked the MR a whole lot. I don't like this one any less. I can tell you that. Let's do some specs and some size comparisons before we get too much farther. On this knife, you were looking at an overall length of 8.1 inches, blade length of 3.65 inches, handle thickness of 0.5 inches, and a blade thickness of 0.14 inches. And as you can see, titanium pocket clip, all that cool stuff. Kind of the same stuff you see on the MR. This is just bigger and nicer materials. Let's bring out the size comparisons. We'll do it different this time because it's what I grabbed. We have your full-size Benchmade Griptilian and the full-size Bug Out. You can see it's just maybe just a hair longer than a grip. I think a grip is like dead on 8. This is 8.1, so it's really, really close. And now two of our other usuals. We're going to do them upside down this time, though. The Pair 3 in lightweight form and the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. So you can see just a little bit shorter than a PM2. Not by much, though. And then, before we get to the more lengthy comparison to the MR, let's bust out something this has been competing with in pocket time and very similarly priced. It may be competing with for not so budget knife of the year. This is the American Blade Works Model 1 V4, just a little bit bigger than that. Now let's bring out the MR so we can do some comparisons here. Yeah, so I didn't notice that they were different sizes. I just liked this a lot. I was kind of expecting it to be the same size, and it isn't. It is a little bit bigger. Didn't pay attention. A lot of times I order stuff without looking at stats. That's just how my brain works. You can see it's not dramatically larger. It's just ever so slightly larger. And again, the materials are different, but they both have the same titanium pocket clip. Both have that same look, with the pivot. It's just this is 154 cm and G10 and a wee bit smaller, where this is M390 and carbon and a wee bit bigger. But both run on bearings, both made in the same place, both made by Best Tech, I assume. I think so. Which is fine with me. They do great OEM work. And also, you can see this has thumb studs and a flipper, where the MR is just a flipper. And I like that. I like having thumb studs. I like having that option. Very, very good for me. As far as this knife goes with the blade, I liked the blades on the MR. I like it even more on this. Looking about 18 thousandths behind the edge, not bad. This kind of sheep's footy looking blade. Pretty thin blade stock, pretty good slicer. It's not the sliciest thing in the history of mankind because it is 0.14 inches, and it's not that tall of a blade, but it still slices really, really well. Flat grind. It does have a very good tip on it. For a sheep's foot, this is a hell of a piercer. It's got a really, really good robust tip that you're not gonna have to worry about snapping it off, stabbing into stuff or anything like that. Really like the blade on it a whole lot. Ergonomically, also, like I said, it's slightly larger, and I mentioned in the review of the MR that if my hands were any bigger, that this little pointy bit at the end here would be jabbing into my palm. This one, no worries of that whatsoever. Just that extra little bit of length makes it just that much more comfortable, that much more confidence inspiring, I guess is a way to put it. I don't feel like I have to make sure my hand is choked all the way up on it. I can move around on it a little bit, and it's still very, very comfortable. So it is a bit more comfortable in the hand than the MR. The pocket clip, no hot spots whatsoever. Ergonomically, it's really good. Yes, the carbon fiber doesn't provide much grip or anything, but you're so locked into this. It ain't going to be an issue. It really, really isn't. Maybe like, if you're working, opening oil cans or something like that, but I can't think of anything, really in normal EDC use that's going to be an issue with it. Excellent ergonomics. Just very, very good. Now, as far as the carry goes, kind of the same as the MR. You can kind of cut and paste my same comments there. Schmutz on the pocket clip, because I have been using this. So the flipper tab is not at all obtrusive or anything like that. It's fairly slim in the pocket. It rides low enough for me, not enough to really bother me. The only complaint I have with it carry wise, and this is not just applied to the MR. I said the same thing about the American Blade Works knife you just saw. If you're wearing really like thicker jeans, and maybe this is just something that's always been a problem with a lot of titanium clips, and I'm just noticing now because I wear like 511 tactical jeans a lot. If you are, they have reinforced pockets, because I'm tired of shredding my pockets up, so I finally got some decent jeans that won't do that. But if you do have jeans with a reinforced pocket or just really, really thick denim, it might not sit all the way down in there because there's just not a ton of space. So that's something to keep in mind, but it's hardly unique to the Progeny, and just something I've been noticing lately with some of these milled pocket clips. Given my druthers, I always prefer just a regular, bent clip, but the mill clips do look cool, and this is a very pretty one. And you can get really super fancy pants ones from Adam Purvis and Moku Tai and all those crazy things if you want to spend a lot of money and make your knife look really awesome. So that's cool. But yeah, that's the only complaint I have with the carry. It definitely hasn't stopped me from carrying it, I can tell you that. It's been in my pocket a whole lot. As far as the action goes, detent is perfect. Just as good, if not better, than the MR. Very drop shutty. I have not taken this apart. I think I did blow it out once with some compressed air, but that was it. And excellent access to the lock bar. No complaints there. And again, to kind of go back to the ergonomics for a minute, there's no jimping on that lock bar because it doesn't need it. And so it doesn't cause, doesn't dig into your finger or anything. I think a lot of times companies put jimping on stuff that doesn't need it. They put jimping on the lock bars and it didn't need it, and it kind of messes the ergos up a little bit. And yeah, like I said, thumb stud, and a very easy to use thumb stud as well. I can reverse open it, but it's an effort. It's definitely not my preferred way to open it, but I prefer just to use it like a regular thumb stud or use the flipper. Primarily, I use the thumb stud because, as I've said, as a reviewer, you get flipper fatigue. Not that like my finger gets tired. It's just I review a whole lot of flippers, so it's nice to have another option. And to me, most importantly about the action is listen to that noise. That's just a good sound. That's just a good sound. It is running on ceramic bearings and all that. Yeah, that's a good noise. The MR sounds good. Don't get me wrong. But doesn't sound like that. So I do really appreciate the noise this thing makes. I really like the looks of it too. As I said, there's a whole lot of other options. And $260 for carbon fiber at M390. Definitely not an inexpensive knife. Definitely worth it. I have no issues with the cost at all. It feels like a $260 knife. If I could change one little thing on it, I would change and get rid of all these T6 screws. And as you can see, another difference, by the way, this has a full tie back spacer where the MR has just has standoffs. Yeah, I think it's well worth the price. Just I wish those were T8s. Tiny little thing. Probably wouldn't have hurt to make that a hidden pocket clip screw, but that doesn't really bother me that much because sometimes you want to take the pocket clip off and you got to take the whole knife apart. So hidden pocket clip screws look really nice, but they can be a pain if you're a guy who takes your knife apart a lot. But excellent knife. I'm extremely impressed, and you could not deal with a nicer guy than Adam Purvis. he's still like a firefighter, EMT, all that stuff, and you know, makes knives, and just a very, very I don't know what the word is. I guess the only word I can use to describe him is he's just like an all-American kind of guy, and really, really like him a whole lot. Very eager to support him. And yeah, this knife has been in my pocket a ton. It's not going to be in my most carried knives video that for the month that goes up tomorrow, but only because I haven't had it long enough. It will be in the next one. I can almost guarantee it, because this is just something I just reached for since I got it. I reached for the MR a lot for the week or so. I only had the MR, and now I got this one, and I reach for this one all the time. It's just a really, really cool knife. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, the link to A Purvis blades will be down below. I've been Brian. Have a good one.